Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There's no objection. Question number 4, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by his statement that, quote, I just don't think the world will let us run 7 and 8% current account deficits. It just won't. I think you'd get the kind of sharp adjustment that the textbooks tell you would happen in the exchange rate or interest rates, end quote. If so, has he said the NZIER's forecast for the New Zealand current account deficit as a percentage of GDP for 2014 and 2017?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I do stand by my statement. The answer to the second part of the question, I haven't seen their forecasts, but the Reserve Bank this morning noted that the current account deficit has improved significantly since it was around or above 8% of GDP between 2006 and 2008. They forecast the deficit to be between 5 and 5.5% of GDP over the next 3 years, a significant improvement on the record levels of current account deficit that applied under Labor's period up to 2008.
The Honourable David Parker.
Does he agree that international credit rating agencies are less tolerant of large current account deficits than before the global financial crisis?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yes I do, and that's why we've been pursuing a mix of policies which can in the end only have an indirect influence on the current account deficit to repair the damage done by the previous government who left it at record level.
The question was an absolutely straight question. And
supplementary.
The Honourable David Parker.
Why, if he's sticking to a plan that's working, is the current account deficit forecast by the IMF to be worst in the developed world next year and forecast by NZIER to get worse to negative 8% of GDP within 2 years and negative 9.9% of GDP in 5 years?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we are pursuing a bunch of policies which, as I said, can indirectly influence the current account deficit because we can't influence it directly, and they are aimed at increasing savings, exports and the rewards for work and decreasing debt-fuelled consumption. The forecasts the member quotes happen to be at the pessimistic end of a pretty wide range of current account forecasts because I think economists aren't sure yet about the extent to which New Zealanders may or may not be changing their behaviour. The Reserve Bank is a bit more optimistic for the period where the member says one forecast says it'll be 8% of GDP. The Reserve Bank says it'll be about 5.5%, and 5.5% is closer to sustainable.
The Honourable David Parker.
Given that export values have declined 11% over the past year, unemployment's at the highest level for 13 years, next year's current account deficit is forecast by the IMF to be worst in the developed world, and income inequalities at the highest level ever recorded, and household savings have turned negative again, when will he admit he's failed to rebalance the economy?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think as I've said many times, there's certainly some strong headwinds for the rebalancing of this economy. That's not a reason to give up. I mean, if the member believed his rhetoric, he would certainly not have backed a promise to build 100,000 houses funded by the government. That will have all the negative effects that he's predicting.
Question number...
Sorry, 600,000 houses.
Question number 5, Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you.